Hey, welcome back. I'm Dean Tuvey. This is How to Manage Tech. What I want to do now is talk to you about the ways in which we integrate things like DevOps and Agile, Scrum thinking. Now, this is really important for project managers to understand what ITSM practices are going to be available to your project that you need to be mindful of. Let's get into it then. So there's a few more elements. I know this is a pretty busy diagram, but there's a few more elements that I just want to add to this. A couple of things I want to show you is how does this look in an agile world, rolling out further increments in an iterative fashion. What does it mean for the feedback loop out of continual improvement? Let me show you that one. Let's add in, for those of you who are used to DevOps, let me add in the DevOps now. So what I'm suggesting here, and I know my development is technically back at the project stage. What I'm going to add to the project then, my project is doing the bulk of the development. And in there will also be my business analysis. And I mentioned before utility and warranty. I just want to add those two in. Remember, warranty is the non-functional or the cross-functional performance of the solution, yeah? Whereas utility is the functional requirements of our solution. Now that just leaves one major piece that I want to add in, and that's a large feedback loop. Now what I want to show you here is continual improvement is now going to be feeding back up the chain the operational changes, tactical changes, and strategic changes. And let me just explain that to you on the diagram. So the first of our changes are our big strategic changes. This is things like upgrades, new platform. And this is where those major change requests are coming in there. So I'm just going to show that type of change coming in there. We've then got our tactical changes that take the form of adjusting a service level. So in this instance, we're either lowering service level, lowering performance because we want to be cheaper, or we're increasing the service level because what we have now is not good enough. And operationally, what we're doing is we're making changes. So I'm going to call this operational tuning. And so this is where we might be having to do work to lift performance to reach a service level that we're not quite hitting now. And so what happens is all of these changes, tactical, strategic, and operational, come out of our continual improvement like so. And what's happening as well is that as we move through the different stages of building a solution, we're learning things. We're learning about budgeting and whether we met our budgets. We're learning about whether our risks worked. We're learning whether our architecture was correct and whether it needs to be changed. And all this feedback pulls out of the design stage, pulls out of learnings from knowledge transfer, testing, training, and so on, as well as operationally all the learnings as to whether it actually developed value or not, and feeds into that continual improvement register there as well. One last thing to add in there. So this is, as I said, looks very traditional. We've got a big bang style one pass project going on. But what does this look like if it was in an agile project? Well, what happens is that once the design has been done, a high level design has been done, then the build, the transition, and the run and the learn are repeated over and over in an incremental fashion. So let's add that in. And what I'm going to suggest is that we can repeat this whole thing. We rolled out just a piece of the solution, and I'm going to suggest this is using iteration and incremental delivery, where we roll out working pieces of the solution in a very agile fashion. And what we're doing there is repeating the development, the transition, which involves the testing and releasing and deployment, with the running, the monitoring, the learning captured in the continual improvement, and then feeding that back into the next iteration of our solution. Okay, so that is how a project needs to be aware of the ITSM/ITIL environment that has been built in the organization that the project is now taking place in. In a similar vein, this is the way a project is building a solution, and these are the ways in which the stunning resources in the forms of the ITIL practices can make a contribution to the success of the project. So that concludes two parts there on integrating IT service management and project, both traditional and agile. I'm now going to start with some new lessons on traditional versus agile project management, and then I'll get stuck more into agile project management. I hope you're learning how to manage tech with me, Dean Tuvey. I'm really chuffed to be here, and I'm really excited to teach you this stuff, share my knowledge over plenty of decades, and hopefully 10 minutes a day, I can teach you how to become a better tech leader, how to run your own business, how to get a promotion, how to get a pay rise. just how to better enjoy your job in tech. See you soon. If you like this video, then hit the like button and subscribe. Remember to hit the bell notification so you'll be updated when I release a new lesson. And feel free to share this lesson with anyone you think who might get value out of it. I've added some cards to the next lessons you might want to watch after this one. Feel free to ask me any questions or leave a comment below, along with any ideas you have for future videos. Thanks very much for watching. I look forward to chatting to you more soon.